Hi everyone and welcome to a new video on the CBI channel. In this Django for Beginners tutorial series, we're creating a blog-style web application with Python Django. And it looks something like this, where users are able to sign up, sign in, and create, edit, and delete different blog posts. Now, this is not the first video in the series. In fact, we've already done quite a lot before, and it results in our application looking like this, where we have the different blog posts displayed on our homepage and we are already able to create, to edit, and to delete different records. And in our forms, we have already made sure that we can write the content, upload an image, and select a category in a select form. Now in this video, we're going to continue and we're going to add one more form in this field that is going to be a multi-select form. And in that multi-select form, the user is able to select multiple tags that are applicable for each of the blog posts. And we'll also make sure that the tags are displayed below the actual posts so that the users can check it out. To realize that, we'll follow 8 steps. We're going to start by creating a new table that stores the tags. So we can create different tags and display those to the user. Then we need to add a column in our blog post table that can store the tags. And we'll also make sure that those changes are being applied in our database. Next, we'll show you how the multi-select fields are actually stored in the database because it's a little bit different than normal. And we're going to be creating a few tags of our own so that we have some options to display. Next, we are going to be creating a new form that is going to allow the user to store multiple tags per post. And we're going to make an adjustment to the view and then test the form. And as a last step, if the data is all stored correctly, we're going to add the tags to the posts. The first thing that we want to do is create a new table that stores all of the tags that users can pick from. So we're going to go to the posts folder and in there we're going to go to the models.py file. Now we've already created a separate table that stores all of the categories, and we're actually just going to copy over this full table and do the same thing, but then for the tags. Because realistically, we only want to store the name of the tags and then when they're created and modified. So just like this is actually already okay for us. So let's save that. Now, the second step is to also create a new column inside of our blog post model that is going to track which of the tags are assigned to each of the posts. So below the category, I'm going to add a new column, and that is going to be called tags. And this is going to be a models dot many to many field because many tags can have many posts. Now, similarly to the foreign key field that we have defined in the previous video for the select field, we first need to list the model that we want to refer to. And in this instance, that model is going to be tags. And actually, we're going to be calling it tag like this. So also in here, we mentioned that the model is tag, and we then can say that this is not a mandatory field. And we do that by saying blank is equal to true. And just like this, we have a new column that can store the tag values. Now, of course, defining it right here does not actually make a change in the database. So we need to make some changes in our terminal. So let's start off fresh. And we're here in a terminal. We first do venv slash scripts slash activate. And now we can make changes to our database by first doing Python manage.py make migrations. And that shows the different changes. And then we do Python manage.py migrate. And now these changes have been applied to the database. And when we open the DB browser and we refresh this, we can see that we now have a tag model with the name. So we can create different tags in this model. And also if we go to the blog post model, you notice that we actually don't have an additional field for tags. Now, the reason that we don't see that is that many-to-many relationships are actually being stored in separate tables, just to make it easier for our database. So if we look in the list of the tables that we now have, you notice that there's a new table called blog post underscore tags. And this table is going to store all of the unique combinations of the blog posts and all of the unique combinations of the tags. So in this column, it will list down the IDs of the blog post model, which are right here. And then in the other column with the tag ID is going to store the IDs of the tags. And that way is creating a bridge between the two. And that is how Django stores the many-to-many fields. So with this done, we can actually already create a few tags ourselves so that the user can pick from those options. So back to our code, and we're going to start our server by doing python manage.py and then run server. And we're going to go to the link and then to the slash admin portal. And of course, currently we see the blog post and the categories, but we don't see the tags yet because we need to make a small change in our code because in the admin.py file, we also need to list down the tags. So we're going to be adding a new entry for the tag model. And if I now refresh this, you see that the tags are also visible. So let's create a few of our own. Now, in this instance, I'm just going to make some stuff up. So we're going to be creating a tag, for example, for politics and also for breaking news. And then let's also do something for sports like Premier League. And then we'll do something like war. And then we have elections. And let's also do arts and leisure, just so we have a few examples in our database. And now if we go to tags, we have all of these options that we can pick from later on. So we have the tags ready and we have our database, but now let's create a form so that the user can actually make the choice. So we're going to go to our forms.py file. And in there, we are going to be editing our blog form. And if we go below the category, we can create a new form specifically for the tags. And the tags are going to be a forms.model multiple choice field. Now, the first thing it needs is a query set, similarly to the model choice field that we have for the category. And the query set is going to be the tag.objects.all, because we want to display all of the options that are inside of the tag model that we've just created. Next, it is also going to ask us if this is required. And required is going to be equal to false because tags are not mandatory. Also, we'll have a label, which is the form title. And this is going to be select tags. And as a last step, it also requires a widget. And in this case, we pick a widget called the forms.select multiple. Now, the last thing that we need to do is add the tags inside of the fields that we want to display on all of the pages. So we put in tags and save that. And now, because on our create page, we have rendered the full form, it should already have that on the page. So let's see what that looks like. So back inside of our app, and if we go to my blog post and we create something, you now notice that we have this multi-select field with all of the options that we have just created. So we can select this and we can then use control to select multiple different options. Now, of course, we can submit this, but we first need to make a small change to our view because the way that multi-select forms are working is a little bit different than the other fields we have inside of this form. So let's make a change and then see what the output is. So we're going to go to our views.py file and then to the create section. And the create section right here is already taking all of the form values and then storing them in this blog object. Now we are going to put the tag option in here. So we say that tags is going to be equal to form.cleaned underscore data. And then we are looking for the column called tags. So far it is still the same. However, we're not going to include the tags inside of this block right here, but actually after this initial block has been saved, we're going to be setting the tags in the different table. Because if you remember correctly, we need to set it inside of the blog post tags and not in the blog post model itself. And that's why we do it after. So after we've saved this blog, we say that blog.tags and then we do .set. And then we say that we want to do tags. And what this will do, it will recognize that inside of our blog model in the models.py file, we have the tags column. It knows that the tags column is actually in another table, which is the blog post tags, and it's going to set all of the tags from the form inside of that new table. But it can only do that after the block has been created because it also needs the ID of the block. And this should work if we are going to be creating a new blog post. So let's save this and check it out. So I've just created a new blog post about Alexander Isak with some content and an image, and we've selected the category of sports. Now inside of our multi-select form, I'm going to select the tags of the Premier League and then also of breaking news, so that we have two categories selected for this particular blog post. And let's see what now happens when we submit this post. So we're now on the blog post place. And also if we go to home, we notice that the actual post has been submitted successfully. But now let's check what we see in the database. So if we go to the blog post underscore tags and we refresh this, we now notice that there are two combinations added in this table. So for the blog post 11, it has added the tags of 2 and 3. And that indeed is correct, because if we go to the blog post model, you notice that the 11 is the new blog post, and we have assigned the tags of breaking news and Premier League, which are 2 and 3. So those combinations that we've just selected are successfully stored inside of this table. So that seems to be working just fine. Now, of course, we also want to edit and make sure it works then. So let's also inspect that view and see if we need to make any changes. So we're going to go back to the browser and we're going to go to the post of the Chinese property giant that has a spectacular fall, which is a business article. I'm just going to edit it and we're going to assign some random tags. So in this case, I'll also do breaking news, but then also politics and elections. It's not really about that, but let's just use it for now. And if we now submit this and we go back to the blog post tags, you notice that it also created free tags for post 10. So also when we edit it, it already works good out of the box. So we don't need to change anything there. So this is all working fine, but we now want to display the different tags of the post below the actual content. So below this, I want to create different boxes that shows each of the individual tags with hashtags. So let's do that right now. So we're going to go to our templates and then the home.html page. And let's make this a little bit smaller. And we want to put the tags below the article content. So if we go down a little bit, you notice that here we have a p tag with the blog.content. And below the blog.content, we want to create a div. And inside of the div, we want to render all of the tags. Now, the first thing that we will do, similarly as what we did for category, is we're going to check if there are any tags for the post, because we also have posts where we have not assigned a tag. So to evaluate whether we even have a tag, we do 2 times the squarely brackets and then 2 times the percentage signs. And in there we say if blog.tags.all, and then we want to do something. But if not, then we don't want to render anything. So we can just do and if. And this will actually evaluate if there are any tags available. Now, if there are any tags in there, we want to loop through them and get something for each of them. To do that, we can do the squirrely brackets again, and then do the percentage signs, and then we're going to loop over them. So we say for tag in blog dot tags dot all, because this is how we get all of the tags from the blog. And then, of course, we also need to end this. So we do 2 times the percentage sign and we do end for. Now, for each of these different tags, we want to provide a nice component. So we are going to make this a span component. And inside of the span component, we want to display a hashtag and then the name of the tag. So we do 2 times the curly brackets and then we do tag dot name. Now what this will do, it will first check in this table of blog post slash tags if there are any tags for this post. Then it's going to loop through the tags and it's going to make a connection to the post.tag and then render the name that we have defined right here. So that is what's happening under the hood. So let's now save this and see what we see on the homepage. So if we refresh this page, you notice that we now get the hashtag and all of the tags. So we do get the right information. And also for the ones where we don't have tags, it doesn't show anything. So now let's make sure that these tags are formatted a little bit so that they're each nice tag. To do that, we are going to give this span right here a class name. And that is going to be equal to article tags. And now we're going to be copying this over and we're going to go to the main.css file to apply some styling. Now in here, we first want to define a background color. And we're going to go for a background. And the color code is going to be hashtag F0F0F0, which is kind of a white/grayish color. Then we want to define the color of the text, and that's going to be hashtag 333, which is a gray color. And let's now save this. And if we now go, you see that we kind of have a grayish outline in the tags. Now I want to give them a little bit more space here. So let's also apply some padding. So we're going to apply some padding here and we do 8 pixels. And this already gives it a little bit of a better spacing, but they're still quite close to each other. So we're also going to give them a margin right of 6 pixels. And now if we refresh this, there is a little bit more space in between each one of them. And I also want the corners to be rounded, and we can do that with the border radius. So we say that the border radius is going to be equal to 12 pixels. And now they actually look a little bit like tags. Now, one thing that I do notice is that the buttons are kind of in the way. So we also want to make sure that there's a little bit of room on the bottom of the tags. Now, to do that, we go back to the home.html page and we also give this overarching div a class name. So I'm going to be calling this tag holder. And we're going to copy over that command and then save this. And in the main.css file, we also do .tag holder, and we're going to give this a margin on the bottom. And we're going to do that for 10 pixels. And if we refresh this, you now notice that the buttons are a little bit further away, but actually they can be more towards the bottom. So we'll do 16 pixels here. And now this looks okay. That is actually all for this video today. In this video, I showed you how you can add a multi-select form to your Django project. In the next video, we're going to be creating a page called details, where we will be able to see the full posts that the users are writing, so that we can actually see the full content, but then in a read-only manner. And after that, we will get started with all of the login and sign up functionality. I want to thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.